The Home Secretary Suella Braverman has finally declared a state of emergency when it comes to the illegal migration crisis, but there is still a backlash. It is interesting because if you talk to ordinary people up and down the country, they would have said back in 2020, for example, it was already a national security concern and an national emergency, but it takes the political system quite a long time to keep up to date. Now, having said that, there is still a backlash when it comes to why Suella Braverman is declaring the situation a national emergency. There's a massive debate right now when it comes to the unused military bases, airfields to be used temporarily until summer, when they send in migrants to Rwanda and other places. There is a massive argument around, obviously, the hotels. There's a massive argument about using barges, boats, and everything else. And Suella Braverman is struggling right now because she wants people to think that this is just temporary until we actually sort out the legislation, which is in the next few weeks. And obviously the Rwanda flight starts because they won the court battle against that. So that's fine, that's sorted. That's all that's happening. So on the plus side, she's finally come out to declare this situation as a national emergency, something her predecessors didn't do, whether it was Sajid Javid or Priti Patel, or even just prime ministers in general, even Boris, who pretended that he wants to make sure we protect the borders. He didn't do anything about it. Having said that, this is not the first time something like this happened when it comes to the escalation. So today, Wednesday, the Home Office lawyers are in the High Court to face a legal challenge by the Braintree District Council, the same area that has James Cleverly as its local MP. And they're seeking an injunction to prevent one of the RAF bases being turned into a camp to house up to 1,700 asylum seekers, or as we call them, illegal migrants. Now, acting on behalf of the Home Secretary, the lawyers will argue that the asylum crisis is so serious, with 51,000 migrants being housed in 400 hotels at a cost of £6 million a day, that they can exercise Class Q powers to ignore local planning rules and set up the camp near Braintree. Now, the Class Q powers permit indefinite developments on Crown land without local authority planning approval if they are needed to prevent, reduce, or control migration. So that's the battle right now. Some local people are not happy, even if their areas is basically unused military bases. People have been angry about the hotels, rightly so. I mean, frankly, if the two options, the only two options, temporarily, they say, is any sort of venue or location that's being used that allows migrants to walk around freely in the area, as opposed to something that is closed, I prefer the latter. Temporarily, obviously, as long as it's temporary. But at the same time, we don't really know what the plan is. They've been saying this for such a long time and we're still waiting. Even back in 2018, Sajid Javid, who was Home Secretary, declared the surge in channel crossings to be a critical incident. Now, 2018 wasn't even that bad compared to now. He said a national emergency would be an earthquake where you had to house 20,000 homeless people as a result. Okay, that was according to a council source. The small boats have been known about and existed for years. So, yeah, I get that. But if it's about the number 20,000, well, we're way above that now, because we've got tens of thousands, we've got hundreds of thousands now overall in the country when it comes to the migrant crisis. Because it's not just the boats, it's also all the other routes that they use, whether it's the lorries, whether it's through the fake student visas or tourist visas. We got migration coming in from all angles, yet we're not seeing anything. For example, it's a reminder, obviously, to show you guys this graph again, the channel crossings. So when we show you this, we have to clarify, this is just the channel crossings. So the number is much higher than this because this is just focusing on the boats. But you can still see the difference. Like 2018 was much lower, is at the bottom, as you can see. 2019 is the second one, it went a bit high. Then 2020 was the year when we were panicked and freaked out. Remember? That's the pink line in the middle. That's how many people came. And we were panicking. We were saying this is chaos. And then you can see 2021, 2022, and 2023, they've been going up and up and up. Now, the recent years make 2020 look like a picnic. It was nothing. Obviously, it was massive, and that was the beginning of the problem. But I'm just trying to show how much the problem is bigger now, even compared to 2020. When you had the boats coming in, Nigel Farage was going to Dover, he was getting attacked, and he raised the issue, and people were talking about it, finally. Now, a government source defended the definition of the crisis as an emergency, pointing to the fact that 85,000 migrants have crossed the channel since 2018, along with the £6 million a day costing of housing asylum seekers, illegal migrants, in hotels, and the £3 billion a year being spent on the backlog. That is huge. Now, more than 5,000 migrants have crossed the channel this year so far, according to the official government figures. It is obviously released by the Home Office. So this is where we are now. And I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to be hopeful that, the plan is working and, they're going to do something. But this is the last time I'm going to be patient, because they have now promised. The legislation is there. The court battle is won. They're preparing everything in Rwanda. And it's not just Rwanda. It's also about the first attempt is to deport them to their original countries. If they can't, they'll send them to Rwanda. And they are working with the French every single day. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway, let me know what you think. I have no faith in this government. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.